113. Welcome to tonight's pre-show. Tonight's debate is going to be interesting. Ralph is not running for a second term, so it is still up in the air. Who will, at the end of the day, who will end up being the nominee? So, tonight we have a chance for all of the voters to see these candidates, learn what these candidates' policies are, figure out what they're going to be doing, figure out why they should vote for them, why. And so these candidates, today the candidates are going to have to prove to the American people that they are worthy of your vote. So, the stream is unlisted, dang it. The stream is currently unlisted. Just made it public, so therefore now our viewers are going to be able to tune in to this tonight's exciting debate, right here on the Federal Television Network. Many questions to be asked. As you see, only one of the candidates has arrived so far, that being Rotten 5. If he it doesn't align with most constitutionalists. He's been rebelling in the party recently. He's currently last place in the polls, but he may be able to improve. He may be able to improve and increase and get some support and traction. Tonight. No, and if he's able to get that traction what he needs right now is more support. So if he can, for him, he has to work hard to this debate and prove that he is the candidate you should vote for. But we have our other candidates behind him. Director Polk, second place in the polls. And then in third place is the one. No, and in first place is the one and only Justice Alex J. Cabot, and behind Cabot in second is Director Polk. So if where'd Rotten go? Up. Rotten apparently left the server, but that and the audience, and our audience hasn't began to show up yet. But two audience members have already arrived. Them being Mr. Tanko 1 and Cotton Rockefeller. He came here to represent Leo Vanik, and I told him, I'm like, it's the Constitution Party debate. I'm just gonna have to TP Rotten real quick. Oh, wait a minute, he's Alex, dang it. The moment, Mr. Poke won't be able to show up for a bit, but I hope you're enjoying the behind the scenes now, and, so we have, Kabat, who currently leads in the polls. Polls here, he's got a funny looking door. No, why did no? Look at that pin. Look at that pin up close. And running in a suit, and Kabat in a suit, and Kabat in those Larry and Kabat is looking like Larry King with those suspenders on. He's wearing Kabat wearing those he's wearing some Larry King suspenders. And I think they're kind of working for him. And anyways, to our viewers, and Wakeful on YT's joining us. Wakeful on YT is here. So many people are showing up. There's a lot at stake tonight. There's a lot at stake tonight. As you know, President Foley will not seek a second term. So having a primary challenger is one thing, but not having an incumbent running is great. And joining us in a moment is my co-moderator, Game Lab. And I'm gonna have to we'll be right back. The one.
I'm missing something. Hello. I just need. Are we gonna do this in the actual the actual group chat that we have, or? Okay. Okay. I'm looking for a clear candidate to emerge. Currently, the field. Oh, I can hear myself echo. Okay, one second. Sorry. I'm looking for a clear candidate to emerge tonight. Let's hope these questions are going to be very good. As you know, we're taking some from the people, which is always good, I think. And honestly, I just funny memes come out of this debate.
Yeah, very, very important debate for the party, as this could determine their future. As here's the thing: recently, the Constitution Party actually lost the House, so they're gonna have to prove. So the candidates are gonna have to figure out. We also want to know how the candidates are gonna work with this new Republican House.
Yeah, that was a very big twist that I'm not sure many people saw coming. The
I
GOP
didn't.
really came out of the left field.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, as you know, President Foley has been shifting his attention towards the Senate, mainly, and that has left the House open for a party like the GOP to just come in and sweep a majority in an election, which is what we saw happen.
I know. Yeah. They were easily able to take it because they were focusing more on the Senate than the House, and I think they kind of weren't. They needed to focus on the House too. That they need to pay attention to both sides. Like, it's hard. They shouldn't be devoting themselves to one side. One house of Congress. So.
Yes, I agree. But if a party was going to devote themselves to one side, you'd obviously want to pick the Senate for the nominations that go through there. The House is always very important to push through your legislative policy, but the Senate is always the one you want to secure the most, because without that, your entire administration could be dead in the water before it even starts.
Yeah. Our audience is growing a lot.
Yes, it is.
Our audience is beginning to arrive.
We just gotta wait till
one of our former employees,
closer to
George
this start.
Rockefeller. I fired him.
Oh. And then, yeah, once the debate is announced in the Constitution server and the NUSA, we should be good.
So far, our currently Kabat is leading in the polls. So far, what do you think Kabat is doing right? What do you think? Why is Kabat leading? What do you think he did right so far? What do you think he's doing right? I feel like he's been a lot more. His messaging he's been a lot more clear.
Well, I think the one thing that Cabot is doing right, is his campaign server. It's more organized and better set up than Rotten's or Poke's, from what I have seen in my experience. And he has been activist with the community. And another thing is that he already has some sort of fame from his time as Attorney General and member of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he's still in the Supreme Court right now.
Yeah, in the Supreme Court right now. As you know, Stillander and the rest of the constitutionalists in the Senate passed a bill making it legal for Cabot to run while being a member of the Supreme Court.
That's a just. Well, did they do this just so he could run?
I can't comment on what their intentions were, but
I had my headphones muted. Apologies for that.
It does appear to be that way, but we have no idea whether or not he did it just for the sole fact of him running, or if they did it to try and bring back some activity, because
both
the
of those
members of the court are some very active people.
Yeah, both of those make a lot of sense. So, which of these candidates do you think is currently struggling the most?
You know, I'd have to say Rotten 5 is kind of struggling. He definitely can bring it back, I believe, but he's gonna have to really fight for it, because Director Polk, former mayor, and Alex J. Cabot, former Attorney General and Supreme Court Justice, that gives them a lot of credibility.
Agreed, definitely, yeah. Gives them a lot of credibility. And, hey man, Polk has arrived.
Oh, and we have another one of our candidates. All three of them are here.
all three of them have arrived. Exciting, and in just moments from now, the debate's gonna begin. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna DM Poke and see if he can start now. Oh, I think he's AFK. If there's one thing Poke is doing right now, is that outfit.
Yeah, that outfit definitely is the best out of any of them. I can't even lie.
We have our three candidates: Texas Cowboy, Green Alien, and British person.
Yeah, that seems to be the field that the American people are going to have to, well, constitutionalists are going to have to pick in the upcoming primaries, which should be scheduled, if my sources are correct, the 18th is when they will be happening.
Okay. The 18th.
The 18th of this month.
I'm gonna go turn my fan off real quick because I think my mic is picking it up.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
As you see, our audience is...
Now, out of the three candidates, who do you think has the most to lose tonight?
I think Kabat. He's been doing great, and if he, I think a few slip-ups could really harm his campaign. I think Kabat has but he also has a lot to gain.
Yeah.
And so if he does good, he will probably have a lot of voter. He probably will be able to get some supporters, steal some support from Rotten and Poke.
Yes. I agree, as Cabot is currently the frontrunner with the largest Discord of them all and the most support. He really has the most to lose tonight. Just if he gets like Poke and Rotten are their campaigns are gonna be looking out for any way that they can meme Cabot, and I'm sure Cabot's campaign is gonna do that to both of them. But Cabot could really get hurt here if he says something stupid or just wrong. So he needs to be very careful, and I'm sure his campaign has made sure that he is prepared. Same with Pokes and Rottens.
Agreed. Should we start now? Let's see.
See what the candidates say.
Yep, they are saying yes.
Okay, so Poke and Rotten are down. We're waiting on Cabot.
We're gonna head on a brief commercial break, and when we come back, it's debate. It's debate time.
I think he might be a bit too scared to mic up. Hello, hello?
Also, one thing it's he's offline, but it's Cabot.
Cabot, tomato, tomato, potato,
Yes, fair
potato.
My man really went offline. Okay. He still has like 14 minutes roughly.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, he
Oh, he just DM'd me. Okay, yeah, he should be joining.
Oh, yeah.
There is the British one.
Yo, Mr. Brit, I love to see your beautiful voice.
Yes. Please enlighten us with your
Let me get some water too.
He's getting his water.
Let me get my water, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my water as well.
I also want water for this. Hang on.
No, everyone's going to get water really quick. Give us like 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Also, everyone make sure to oh wait, Poke's gone, but Rotten, make sure to announce this in your campaign server.
Yes. I got my water, and I got it before Kabat, you know. I think that shows to the American people, you know, that I was able to get my water first. It shows that, you know, I go for it, you know.
That's a very important characteristic, I must say. You have my support.
Yeah, I just truly trump him in that category. Like, there's no way he can beat me now.
Also, make sure you two announce the debate, the link, and the YouTube link in the game.
Yeah, I already announced it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Actually, let me get the game. Hang on.
And then we're just waiting on Ralph to put it in, the YouTube and the Noosa thing. Now we're just waiting for the Brit to get his water. Oh, he's unmuted.
Yeah. Oh, yo.
Did you get your water?
Yeah, I did get my water.
You got your water?
Yep.
Did you get your crisps?
Yeah, I got them as well.
Oh, you got them as well, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing, let's refrain from doing mock British accents despite how funny they are during the debates. Just for professional reasons.
I can't even do a British accent even if I tried.
You just try and make yourself sound like as big of a dumbass as possible and it works. Habit, make sure you announce this.
Yeah, I am now.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a very good question. So we have HHP George, who is Poke's campaign manager, or whatever the hell he's doing now after he got barred and committed treason and whatever. And so he came back to the CNC, and Poke put all his CNC buddies in there, and they tried to pass a resolution allowing the CNC to choose the winner. That's what they tried to do. We announced it in our Discord, and everyone attacked them because it's nuts, it's crazy, and it shows how scared he is about how he's going to lose this election.
Alright, can I have a response to this? Okay, so first off, if you look at the Trello and pay attention to your party, you'll notice that I vetoed it. That shows, first off, I don't endorse it. And secondly, Mr. Kabat, I'm talking, thank you. And secondly, why don't we go look at your legislative history? Your vice president, Cylinder, passed a law the other day, which basically allowed it so that, you know, Supreme Court justices would be able to run for office. I'm not saying that it's a bit fishy that, you know, your own vice president candidate passed a law that allowed you to run, but it's kind of fishy, you know. I'm just saying, Kabat, if you truly wanted to run, put your, dedicate yourself to the nation, dedicate your heart to the nation, you would be willing to, let go of your position of power and trust yourself to the people. If you think you really are a good candidate, then you wouldn't be afraid of losing your little Supreme Court seat. Yet, you are afraid, you haven't resigned from your position. Instead, you had the laws changed, you use your friends, you use your power to basically give yourself an unfair advantage. Now, Kabat, I explicitly, vetoed the bill that would give me an unfair advantage, yet you did not speak out against it. You have not done anything against it, and you're continuing to use this unfair position, to stay in the race. Even if I lose the constitutionalist primaries, I'll take pride in knowing that, I had my dignity on the line. I did not cheat, and I did not use any illicit means to win. So, Kabat, what's your response to that? Enlighten me.
Well, I think it's very clear why you vetoed it. You vetoed it because everyone realised that you were going to fail and you were flailing and desperate. That's the only reason why you did it. And then you just said that we never spoke out against the bill. I think that we did, and I'm just reading now.
Okay, Kabat.
We said Poke is scared. He is so scared.
No, Kabat, I'm not talking about that bill. I'm talking about... No, Kabat,
I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking. That we will win. He's done the loser-lark politician thing, because that's what you are, trying to rig the elections with his corrupted committee members, losers. They're afraid of FEC accountability, and they want to destroy the Constitutionalist Party's integrity once and for all. The only reason you backtracked is because you realised everyone was against you. I mean, I would do the same thing. I don't blame you. But yeah, you need to be a bit more honest.
Okay,
and about the bill.
Okay,
about the bill that.
Okay, we're gonna move on now. I'm gonna.
Can I please get one rebuttal, please, here?
Okay.
Just real quick?
Yes, just.
Okay, so Kabat, I'm just saying, for starters, one, I never publicly endorsed that. I never made an announcement saying that I endorsed that. I specifically vetoed it for a reason. I didn't agree with what the CNC was doing. I talked to HHP. I told them I didn't agree with it. However, you as you claim, you spoke out against that bill that allowed you to run. So if that is the case, if you believe that that bill is wrong, then, I think it would be appropriate if you act like that bill isn't there in the first place. You should resign from your position as Supreme Court Justice. If you really feel that, you don't care about the power, you care about the people, then you would resign from your position of power. And you know what? Put yourself at risk a bit, It's a bit unfair for someone to have the laws change or the rules change just so they can win or have an advantage. I thought that, and you know what? That's why I specifically vetoed it. Now I need you to step up to the plate, Kabat. Step up to the plate, be a man, grow a pair, and resign from your position as Supreme Court Justice, or drop out of the race. It's your choice. I'm not tapping my friends to, give me an unfair advantage. I could easily do that, but I'm not. Yet you're standing here right now and doing that.
You have power. You don't have power. You don't have control over the legislature, and you just attack everything.
Oh no! Whoa! Not hey. So you're bragging about having control over the legislature, huh? So you think that's a crowning achievement to wave around?
That is what you're doing. You're attacking the work of the
So you think your Machiavellianist nature is something that you can boast around? The people are so obvious.
Okay, we're gonna move on now. Come back to this.
Okay, hang on. I want to speak on this for a second. Jakers, let me respond to this, okay? Because the simple fact is that Kabat does have control over Congress, more specifically the Senate. It is all of Kabat's senators who are doing this and all this stuff. Actually, not senators, but Kabat does have control over the Senate, okay? The one vice president, Cylinder, was president pro tempore of the Senate, okay? And just a few days ago, they expelled a senator. Which one was it? It was Chief Senator, for apparently being barred when there was almost no evidence that they were barred, but I'm not 100% sure about that. What I'm trying to make is that Kabat does have control over the Senate.
And I want to add on quickly that he is using this, to maintain his own power, which is reflective of his Machiavellianist nature.
No. You don't get to slander me. I'm telling you I'm
doing. No, I'm not slandering. I'm just saying the facts, dude. I'm spitting straight fucking facts, dude. Dude. I don't care. It's just it's obvious that you're using your power to help yourself.
On the Supreme Court.
You're saying on the Supreme Court because you're a pussy.
Okay, that's time. It's time to move on. Cabot, Poke.
All right. Yeah, let's move on.
Ryan,
move on.
You've been sort of rebellious within the Constitution Party. You've publicly have complained about other constitutionalist politicians, including Cylinder, and called them corrupt in the past. And you say you don't really support President Foley anymore. Why? Why did you stop supporting him, and what caused that?
Well, first off, President Ralph Foley has gone completely inactive in news. So, okay, their administration is just now coming back, as it's almost the end of its term. We're in a presidential election right now. Okay, and another thing too is Cylinder is corrupt. Okay, I'm not really sure how that's even a question anymore. Okay, he is part. I know Kamat's going to want a rebuttal here, but Cylinder is corrupt. Okay, I've said in the past that he has done many corrupt things, such as ejecting senators who are inactive simply because they are plutocrats. We did an amazing news exclusive event on this, which was Corruption in Congress, that uncovered everything that Cylinder did, everything that 2 did, and everything that these corrupt senators that Kabat has control over did.
Rebuttal? Did you say yeah?
So,
Hello, can I rebuttal?
Game Lab.
Rebuttal, yeah.
You're gonna have a
Just
rebuttal?
said something about my VP.
No, I'm not. I don't have a rebuttal.
Right, I'd like to say something. You said that they were ejected because they were inactive plutocrats, and I'm quoting you there. I don't know what kind of senator thinks that we would want to keep inactive people on the Senate floor. We want active people on the Senate floor working for the American people. I know that you're dead and that your legislative agenda is dead and that you work with all these dead plutocrats, but it's not my fault that the constitutionalist senators want to move on and put America in the right path.
Okay, well, let me rebuttal to this, because one of the other constitutionalist senators who was supposed to be ejected for being an active beige pie, I guess I can't really pronounce that name, but he was also a completely inactive senator and a constitutionalist. Why wasn't he expelled from the Senate? Come on.
Well, I don't know. You have to ask the elected people in the Senate. I'm not a senator. I'm a Supreme Court justice.
But you have control over the Senate. You have friends in the Senate. Your own vice president, Cylinder, was in the Senate. Why don't you ask him why he wasn't expelled?
Anymore. He's no longer in the Senate.
He was in the Senate. He was in the Senate at the time that this was going on. He even voted on that. He even voted aye on this expulsion.
Well, I don't keep tabs on every single irrelevant ejection and expulsion of the senators and the Congress people in this United States. That's not what I do. I know that you may fill your time because it's empty up with that information. I don't do that.
You're on the troll, Kabat, okay? Let me look here.
Okay.
It says, what is it? American Bar Association? Is that what it is? Yeah, American Bar Association. You're on the troll, Kabat. You knew very well that this is going on.
So,
Well,
anyways,
I don't recall.
Game Lab has a question for all of the candidates. Game Lab, what is it?
I'm gonna go from left to right on this Discord thing. So starting with Cabot, Leo Vinnick has been declared the nominee for the Republican Party. If you get the nominee, what are your plans on defeating him? Because he has a lot of experience in the legislature. So what are your plans to take him down?
Well, if you actually analyse his work in the legislature, you'll realise he's a good-for-nothing politician, another crackhead politician who's done nothing except take advantage of the people and the voters. He's took advantage of his current base, which is the military base, by joining the Air Force a month ago and then scraping all their GOP votes. And he's basically just a failure. I can easily beat him. I don't think any of the others here can say the same, because guess what? He has a higher member count than the other two candidates on this stage. I mean, Rotten has a higher member count than Poke, and that's just a sad thing. But if you really want us to beat Leo in this election, then you should vote for me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Same question to you, Poke. What are your plans on defeating GOP nominee Leo Vinnick?
So personally, I feel like GOP nominee Leo Vinnick should not be taken. We should not be going into any election with a cocky attitude. That's what causes losses. Throughout history in NUSA, a lot of, great politicians, great people lost elections that seemingly were easy to win because they're like, oh, look at me, I'll win this easily. My plan is not to be all talk, is to be all action here. If I am the constitutionalist nominee, my plan is to have an aggressive campaign schedule, day to night, will be campaigning members, trying to get people in, and to over-exceed Leo Vinnick's numbers. Now, you may say, oh, Director Polk, your numbers right now are pretty low. And there's a good reason for that. When I announced my campaign, I was going through a few IRL stuff. I was moving in new furniture and stuff. However, right now, I have a pretty free schedule, so you're going to see my numbers shooting up real quick soon. And I think when Leo Vinnick, runs against me, I'll be able to outperform him immensely in the polls. I think by Kabat saying, oh, I'm going to win this easily, that shows, he's only talk. He has no explicit plan to campaign against him. He's just expecting to win. And that ultimately brings you down a road of failure. Arrogance is the first step of failure, in my eyes, at least. I yield the floor to Rotten.
And same question to you, Rotten. What is your plan to defeat the GOP nominee, Leo Vinnick?
My plan is the same plan I always have for every election. Campaign, campaign, campaign. I've been campaigning my butt off this entire time. I've been working hard day and night like Director Polk, but not really what his plan is to try and campaign, okay? As I have been very busy campaigning a lot in this election, okay? And also, Leo Vinnick has been proven to be a corrupt politician, so that's not really going to help him either. And another thing, too, is I'm agreeing with Director Polk here on this one. He is cocky, and so is Kabat. Cockiness has definitely led to a lot of losses here.
I'd just like to rebuttal on that, if I may. There's a difference between cockiness and being successful, and wanting to be successful, and being confident. I'm confident that we can beat Leo, because he's a failure, and because we have a strong plan to put America back on track and restore American greatness. Neither of you have that plan. You're just there to cry about the rules, cry that you haven't got enough supporters, and put the blame on me. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Dude, all you're here for is just to get that checklist position. You just want to say, oh, I was Lego president, and then call it a day. I'm here to create action, so shut the hell up, dude. You need to stop acting like you're some righteous guy, dude. You're not. And we all know you're here for the power. So instead of, no, Kabat, no need to cry here. No need to cry. You just, hush, hush.
You were mayor twice. You did nothing as mayor.
No, as mayor. Okay, if you want to bring up that, Kabat, I had a 1-month term as mayor, and I was basically
one at a time, please.
You signed 3 of my to 1 of my criminal codes, and then you sat there and you watched me pass the standing rules of the city council.
Okay,
you
and
nothing for the city, nothing.
I had a 1-month
pass a pizza executive order.
Kabat, that was okay. If you want to look at what I did, if you want to really bring up the pizza thing and try to insult it, let me break it down for you, okay, Kabat? Just because you don't know how to analyze things at a critical level like me. So what the pizza order was for, it was basically a community engagement way. It was a fun way to get people in game, for me to talk to my constituents, my citizens, and see what they what they want, what they need. And that's what leaders should do. They should be going out and having fun with their citizens. They should not be treating them like some caged animals or some zoo creatures, like politicians like you do. I personally, as mayor, made it my effort to make sure that everyone would have as fun of a time as they could. I did not have a lot of time as mayor. I only had a month, not even a month actually, to really push the legislation forth. And both times I was working towards helping to transition. If you look back towards my term, following Loyal Cross, you would see that there was overwhelmingly high approval polls. Now, Kabat, you personally were, at the time, seemingly fond of me. You were very happy about my work, I remember receiving plenty of compliments from you. So I don't know why you're suddenly changing unless you're my opponent.
But if I did compliment,
no, I vividly remember it. You specifically.
I can see that you are very useless, very, very useless.
Kabat. You were very useless. If you want to talk about positions, when you were the district attorney general under my good friend Nasty Bleed, you did bad shit. Holy fuck.
Useless. I mean, give me a break.
Kabat, you do nothing. You do nothing at all.
Nothing.
All you do is you post little gifs on Discord, type a little message with a ... and then cry, and then go back to wherever you... Oh yeah, sorry. Let's move on.
Okay, so, DC activity is our next subject. What will you do to increase DC activity? Since you were mayor and, you have kind of experience with this, we're gonna start with you, Mr. Polk.
Okay, so if I become president, my plan is going to be something very similar to when I was mayor, albeit with a few modifications. The first thing I would like to do is basically try to encourage Ridgeway people to come over to DC. Now, this may seem like a very Herculean task or even impossible task, but I have a pretty good plan, which I'll be releasing with my manifesto very soon. And in essence, there will be a way to kind of bring a lot of Ridgeway people over, have the activity from there trickle down into DC. Secondly, I want to host a lot of community engagement sessions. As mayor, I found that people have a tendency to come and game more when one, their leaders are there, and two, there's something interesting going on. I would like to go and reference something Mayor Hop did, and also Mayor Profine and myself. We all have done very specific events from varying degrees. Mayor Profine did his little Civil War, so did Hop. When they both did those events, it brought in a lot of people. When I did my Pizza Friday thing, it brought in a decent amount of people. So what I want to do is have a lot of fun events in DC. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, something grandiose like a Civil War every week, but maybe we could have, you know, I don't know, a game of like anything really. We could just do. There's a lot of potential in that city, and maybe a municipally or federally sanctioned race. There's like so much potential in that city that's not being used right now.
Great.
Because this clan managers are not giving us the resources. It's up to us to generate activity. It is up to us to generate the fund. Now, I don't think Alex Kabat really has that experience with engaging with the community. As the judiciary and as a person who's involved with the legal community, you don't really have involvement with the community that close. You mainly handle cases. You're pretty kind of shut in like a nerd, which Kabat is obviously, but yeah. So I personally feel that I have a lot of experience with engaging with the community and bringing them in, and I think my skills and experience with that will greatly help. I yield the floor.
Okay, I had to get out of the free cam for a second because what is the poke doing? Is he? Wait a minute. I think there's someone.
Oh no, that was Wenzel, I think.
No, the poke.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, the Pock or
Look at him. He's like, his eyes are glowing.
Wait,
It's
who's
just like
farting?
lasers or something.
Yeah, what is it? Why is there?
Someone is what?
Look at him. Wait.
Wait, is that Hop?
Yeah,
Wait,
probably a command with the admin client or something. VIP command. So, anyways, Ryan, I'm gonna go to you now about the activity question. How will you work to improve DC activity?
Yeah, unlike Kabat, who has never released a single plan about the DC activity in his manifesto, I actually have a plan. Like Poke as well, okay? It's a very simple plan. It's 3 steps. 1, we need to increase the amount of server startups we do within the community, okay? I get that hosting events is fine, but if nobody's going to show up to them because DC is having 0 players right now, then what's the point in doing it, okay? We need to have more server startups, get more people active and on DC playing it, okay? Another thing we need to do is have events, okay? Like Poke said, they don't have to be grand events. Just simple, fun things, okay? DC is incredibly boring right now. There's only 2 things you can do there. 1, rob banks, and 2, shoot law enforcement. That's going to become incredibly boring, incredibly fast. And number 3, we need to have game nights, okay? We are a community, okay? We need to have more community events happening, okay? A lot more community events happening. Otherwise, this community is not going to grow, and it's just going to die. And Kavat, as president, it's just going to let it die, honestly. They have no plan to solve the inactivity crisis, and without plan management, without plan management support, it is going to die, Kabat. You have no plan in it, and you're
No,
just
Kabat,
going to
don't
die for not
Okay,
doing
we're
anything.
gonna go to Kabat now. So Kabat,
Thank you. You gonna go and ask me the question?
yes, how are you going to
Don't
improve
just stop.
DC activity?
This is very clear, but I'll just jump back a second on what these both have said they're going to do. Poke's, I don't even know what Poke's saying. Let's just realise what he's proposing. He said that he's proposed some kind of pizza executive order that actually brought people into DC. Let's just realise pizzas aren't a thing in DC. So he thinks that an imaginary pizza is going to bring people.
Oh
into
no,
DC.
we have plenty of pizza
That's what's gonna
TNGs on the
That's
ground,
not what's
kid.
going to happen.
Oh,
and you
that
know
is what's
this.
gonna happen. That's
Yeah.
literally what's gonna happen. We're gonna get the biggest fucking.
I stay quiet when you spoke, so be quiet when I speak.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Big
you can
pizzas.
rebuke after. You can rebuke after. And then he said he's going to bring Ridgeway people. Ridgeway people don't want to come over here, and that's very clear. And I've asked lots and lots of them. They're not interested in coming over here because it's toxic, because it's full of failing
Toxic
politicians.
because of people like you,
these
Kabad.
two. And then, I'm speaking. Shh. I know it's hard. I know that you haven't been taught this.
Yeah, it is
but you
very
need to be quiet
difficult.
when I'm speaking. Shh. We're going to restore American greatness by ensuring that we remove quotas completely because they fail. They never worked in LVPD. When Paul and Square run all these agencies, quotas never worked. So we're going to remove the quotas. We're going to put law enforcement back in. We're going to invite criminal gangs to come back in because I know that's how it works. Because I know you surprisingly think that I have no intelligence or kind of community experience, but I think I was your DC Attorney General. I don't know. I've been DC Attorney General several times.
You're pretty bad at it. Not gonna
The
lie.
Attorney General, the U.S. Attorney General.
Yeah, you're kind of bad,
Deputy
but
Attorney General, and I've been on the courts multiple times and done lots of in-game events, and I was also Deputy Mayor-elect. So don't forget that. And Rotten, I don't even know what he's saying, but basically, we're going to bring back all these people from the gangs to come back into DC and do what they do best, is bring back activity, and then we're going to put law enforcement back on track.
Okay, how are you
but-
going to do that? You're
Okay.
not
Yeah,
answering
yeah.
the question. You're just saying you're going to do a bunch of
that's
stuff.
easier
How are you
said
going
than
to do
done.
it?
Yeah, like that's like me saying, "Oh, look at me! I'm gonna bring everyone back." You know, everyone that's ever been DC. Guess what? They're gonna magically come back when I wave around my little wand. That's what you're saying right now.
You're not answering the
Come on,
question.
come on.
You
How
really
are you
don't
going
have
to
any
bring it
direction
back?
here. You're just saying it will happen, but you don't have a plan for it.
Don't
You know, that's just
lie.
you're just pulling it out of your ass, dude. You gotta have a real plan here. You know, you're all
What's your
talk and no
plan?
action.
Pizzas?
There's
Your
no
plan is
sustenance.
pizzas. Give me a break.
Come on,
Don't
come on.
tell me. Pizza's your plan.
Listen. Hey,
One
hey,
at
hey.
a time, please.
Let's just get that straight. Pizza's your plan. Pizza's your
No,
plan.
I did not. No, I
Rotten's
said there's
Rotten's
plenty of
plan.
more
Nobody knows
things.
Rotten's plan.
Come
Rotten doesn't know his plan.
Look, and you know what? People did like the Free Pizza Act. If you want to go look back at polls, it was
People like the Free
overwhelmingly
Pizza Act.
supported.
No
But
one
that's
likes the
besides
Free
the
Pizza
point.
Act. No one
I have
knows
plenty of
what
other
you're talking
plans.
about.
Surfer
No one knows
startups,
what the hell
it's-
a Pizza Act is. Literally,
The-
no one knows.
The
No
Free
one knows.
Pizza Act was
Not-
basically,
not
you know, the
anyone,
big,
not
okay,
anyone.
come on.
No one knows what the
You know the
Pizza
big block of cheese event that presidents usually, well, they used to
The
hold them.
presidents do that. The presidents do
Yeah,
that.
that was the
Presidents,
municipal
and they're
version of it,
actually
you
popular. And they
idiot.
were elected as presidents. You were not elected mayor. You weren't elected to do anything, and you failed. That's why.
I did not fail as
That's why
mayor. A
we
lot
have
of
to-
people, if you
That's
ask
why we have
most
to-
people,
I'm sorry that you didn't like it. I'm sorry that you didn't
Oh,
like it.
come on. Let the big boy talk. So, Kabat, a lot of people loved me as mayor, so don't get that twisted. Now, Kabat, I don't know where you're getting all these statistics that I messed up as mayor. During my term, I explicitly went in with a specific course of action. I didn't really have too much time to act on that action because I literally
1
had a
month
month
is
and I was
much
undoing
too
a lot
long.
of.
1 month is
Okay,
long enough.
Kabat, a month is not
telling me
long
1
enough
month
when
is
you're
not long
undoing a lot of
Are you
mess.
trying to
For example,
justify
back in
the fact to me that
September,
you're an
I was
idiot?
dumped.
Is that what you're trying to do? Is that
What?
what you're trying to do? You're trying to
Kabat, I can't
justify
even
the
hear
fact-
you. I
See,
just
and the American
all I
people,
hear is
you're an
Chris munching. Kabat,
See,
I
if
need you. I
only
need you
you
to
had
talk a bit more
actual
clearly.
policies,
Kabat, you need to talk loudly.
No.
Kabat.
If only you had actual policies and didn't start speaking about British people or whatever the hell you're talking about, because you're not funny. No one knows what you're on about. You just sound like you have dementia.
Kabat, no one knows what you're on about either. You
Yes, they
keep
do.
you're pulling shit out of your ass.
There's no need to cry.
There's no need to cry for you either, Kabat. You're just whinging right now, dude. Oh my
I'm
lord.
not crying.
You are, dude.
I'm ready to move on.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Kabat. Let me say this.
Come on.
All you're talking about, you have all talk, no action. How are you going to bring back these criminals? How are you
We're
going to
not
bring
gonna
back
go
all these
over
people?
this because that is by definition.
Well, no, I want you to go. I want you to go over it. Tell
Every
me, how are you
time
going to bring
you-
these people over?
every time
How would
don't
you
do
be
it.
able to do it better than anyone else?
I've already
Because
just
if
said-
anyone's
I've
going to be
already just
bringing
said
in
anything
criminals,
is better than Pizza Friday. Anything is better than the fucking Pizza
Kabat,
Friday.
you're
I
acting
mean,
like Pizza
honestly.
Friday is a bad thing.
No one
How
knows
is it a
what
bad
Pizza
thing?
Friday is. No one knows
What
what
members
Pizza Friday is.
game?
We're gonna move on now. We're gonna move on now.
No one cares. Yeah, I'm
Holy
ready to
fuck.
move on.
Imagine
I'm
being
ready to move on.
pizza
I'm ready to
phobic.
move on.
Holy shit.
No more talking about your
Who
pizza.
is that
Come on, let's
other-
move on.
Who's that other Ralph? We're gonna.
Try doing Ralphius, but replace the L with a capital I.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm thinking he did.
Bruh.
Like, what? Oh dear.
Come on, how does that feel? What Malphus is doing to you right now? How does that feel? You must really like that, come on.
Side, moment, you know.
You must really like that, come on.
Oh, dude, this is mildly disturbing.
You got the
Very
wrong one.
Very disturbing, innit?
Here, Jakers, I know what. Just mod me or admin me, and I can kick him. Because I know how he spelled his name. I figured it out.
Oh, dude.
Hey, wait, why do I have the admin?
Yeah, you gave Poke the admin.
Oh,
Damn, I can't do
Oh,
fart.
that's-
Rip.
What the hell is this?
Let me.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Damn.
Here, so give me ad. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so pick.
I can't do
Oh,
fart.
that's-
Rip.
Oh wait. Pick R-A, and then I'm P-H-I-U-S-S. Here, folks. Bruh. Oh yeah, I think that got him. Yeah, that got him.
All right. So, Kabak, going forward, I want,
Okay, there we go.
no more screaming. I want you to, let me talk. I'll let you talk. I just want you to kind of ease off of that.
No more crying. Please don't cry. Let's just move on.
Kabak, no one's crying. You're just trying to pull out a little rhetoric here that's not going to work. You're trying to do a little bit
Okay,
of
we're gonna
trolling,
move
but you're
on
not
now.
really working. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna go to our questions submitted by the public.
Augers.
Wait, I have one last question for them.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna do left to right, because that's the only way that it's fair. Mr. Cabot, if you lose the constitutionalist primaries, will you suspend your campaign and endorse the winner?
We'll see, because unlike these two, there's an actual mandate for me to run. There's an actual mandate. Unlike these two, unlike Rotten, whose server's dead, nobody joins it. And then unlike Pokes, who has, a quarter, maybe a third of my supporters, if they win fair and square and we see the results, maybe I'll think about it. And I'll consult my voters, because the voters and the American people actually matter to me.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
our first question.
Next up is. Oh wait, sorry, I have to finish this really quick. Next up is Poke. If you lose the constitutionalist primaries, will you drop out and suspend your campaign and endorse the winner?
Okay, so in my opinion, like Kabat said, it truly depends on how the candidates carry on after the fact. Right now, I'm not really certain. Kabat's acting like right now he has some mandate from God or something to run, so I don't know what he's on about. But maybe if Kabat eases off on the toxicity, stops being a douchebag, maybe I'll consider it. Maybe if he also resigns from his position, stops being megalomaniac about his power, maybe I'll consider it. But as it stands, I would like to see change from his side. If I do lose, then I would like to see significant change for me to even consider a merge. I'm not going to pledge my support to a man who I don't feel is capable of winning. Now, yeah, maybe he can change my mind, or who knows? Time will tell. Ultimately, that's what I'm going to say.
So, anyways,
Okay,
Rotten?
and then same question to Rotten, and that will be it. And then we can get to the people's questions.
Like everyone else, it depends, okay? It really depends who wins the nomination. Honestly, Kabat is one of the most toxic people, like everyone else has said. And yeah, it really depends on what Kabat does. But I have a question specifically for you, Kabat. Why are you so toxic to me? All this toxicity has been directed at me. You have been memeing about me constantly memeing about me. What did I do to deserve that, Kabat? Why are you so toxic specifically to me?
If you can't handle memes, then I don't think you should be running for Roblox president, because you're going to get memed a hell of a lot.
Okay, but why me? You didn't answer my question. Why are you doing this?
Because you're a fool. You're generally just a fool. You've just failed at everything that you try to do. You couldn't even subpoena me and ask me questions correctly when I was the US Attorney General. So hopefully you can do a better job as president.
But why are you so toxic? Why is this toxicity? This is
that's
part of the
why-
reason why DC is dying and
Okay,
why
let's-
DC has gone active. It's
Let's
because
move
of
on.
people like
Let's
you.
move on now.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
First to our first publicly. We're gonna go to our now. We're going to go to our first publicly submitted question. The first one is also kind of related to activity in Washington D.C. It is Wakeful on YT. It is how will you work to stop false arrests? And we have apologies for that. And we have so we're gonna we're going to how will you work to stop false arrests in DC?
Who's this directed to?
All of you.
Or
We're
how
gonna
are we
start
going?
with Poke.
All right. So for false arrests, I personally feel that a big issue, a big resultant of it is poor training mechanisms. Right now, it's ridiculously easy to get a job, and you know what? I think that is partially because people are desperate to get their numbers up in their groups, desperately afraid of being fired for not having certain activity counts. And in my opinion, I don't think it's fair for us to be forcing our leaders to be sacrificing quality just for the sake of quantity. So if I'm to be president, I'm going to be purely focused on quality. Now, at first, being a bit more quality driven with our departments will cause a slight dip in activity. I'm going to admit that. However, once we get a more well-suited police force, a more dedicated police force, and a more professional one across the board, we'll then see a drastic increase in activity in the game. A lot of people are actually turned off from going in-game because they're tired of the unprofessionalism coming from our law enforcement officers. A lot of them are just not properly trained, and I want to work towards getting them trained. I want to maybe look into finding a federal law enforcement training program. It won't be as rigorous as Ridgeway's because DC is meant to be a bit more relaxed. But I might want to find something that works for DC's needs, and I'll obviously be playing around and looking for something that works for our needs. And I'll obviously also be consulting not military leaders, law enforcement leaders, everyone who would pertain to that. So yeah, in essence, I want to prioritize quality with our law enforcement officers.
Now we're gonna go to Kabat. Then we'll go to Rotten and
Well, as
we'll go to Rotten and when we do,
Oh.
and we'll come back to when we do with that exploiter. How about that?
Poke attacked me earlier on my workers as only being in the judiciary, and it seems like this is where it's.
Wait, when did I even attack you? Kabat, I literally said nothing about your workers.
It's going to be my prime time.
I said nothing about your workers, dude. So don't.
Prime. Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, but you're pulling bullshit
says-
out of your ass.
We're going to deal with false arrests, and we're going to increase the punishment time, and we're going to ensure that malicious arrests are not combined or confused with mistaken arrests or non-malicious arrests. And then he said something about a federal law enforcement training program. That's not going to happen. How do I know that's not going to happen? Because the clan management have already said that's not going to happen. They're not going to allow that.
It's not going to be clan management sanctioned.
That's
I'm
not going to happen.
The federal government would be willing. Kabat, I'm not talking about Ridgeway's. I specifically said that.
For the federal.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be comparable to Ridgeway. It's going to be
no one cares.
what DC
They've already
needs.
said no. They already said no.
It's not.
One in the
Kabat, plan management is not going to piss their pants if we make a program, better training program. The clan management's actually mad that the federal government is unprofessional.
No.
Don't speak lies, and then I won't speak over you.
You can
just say the truth, and then I'll let you speak. If you're gonna lie,
here we go.
I'm just saying.
Can you be quiet? Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it for you, King Alex. You got it. Got it, bro.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay, we're gonna go to Rotten now.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
before I
Kabat said
continue,
absolutely nothing about.
I'm posting a link to a poll. A poll. We're running a poll now, so
Okay.
So currently,
Ask a
Yeah.
question.
Let me continue.
yeah, you can continue.
Could I ask a question, Jakers?
Can I
Yeah,
have some time to
as soon as
speak?
Rotten,
Okay.
Oh yes.
as
Oh
soon
yes.
as Rotten
Sorry.
finishes.
Okay. Yeah, Kamat said almost nothing about what he actually plans to do about fixing the false arrests in DC. One of the things that I want to do about fixing false arrests
Another
is continuing and actually restarting and jumpstarting Ralph's criminal accountability server. That has died, and I believe that that could really legitimately help stopping false arrests and also getting our police some training. That will very much help us in getting the false arrests fixed, because I believe that there has to be accountability with the federal government, okay? As Poke said, it has been very deprofessionalized and there's almost no accountability and nobody trusts it anymore, and that's why, part of the reason why nobody's playing DC, okay?
Okay. So, Game Lab, what's your question?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it from the people. Okay, none of these are serious. I'll just go to Ben. Benedicto Kaidoimus' question. He has two of them. First one is war when ? So, do you guys plan on going into war as president?
I guess I'll take it first.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to go to war, you know. In my opinion, we need to take an approach where if like any country, you know, steps on us, we gotta use our great military to, you know, show that America is not anyone's bitch. We're not gonna bend over to some foreign nation, probably less active than us, if need be. Now, I can't obviously talk about specifics because from what I currently see, there is no need for a war. But if there ever is a need for a war, I will not hesitate to deploy our great men and women from the military. Believe me, I will not hesitate.
And another
Okay,
question.
can I go next?
Yeah, we have an exploiter on Rotten again.
On me? Okay.
Right, I'll take the question.
No,
Of course we're going to go. If of course we're going to go to war if I'm president. We'll go to war and we'll ensure that we're engaging our military the entire time. We're not going to have these elitist operation commands or whatever they are. Our military wants to be involved in military operations, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to ensure that there's not constant wars where it makes our domestic work unenjoyable, but so it involves the military and ensures that our foreign policy is ripe and judicious.
Okay, yeah, I'm basically gonna say the same thing everyone else is saying, that we will go to war if someone threatens us. But one of the things that we have to do in order to ensure that we can be prepared for war is have foreign nations and allies, okay? Right now, NUSA is not in the United Nations, okay? The one we were in fell apart at the seams. What I want to do is get in the United Nations so we can have a much better foreign policy within the Department of State, okay? So, as everyone else said, we can go to war in a matterable way and actually be prepared for war, okay? Because fighting a war is a big job.
I'm gonna just say this. I agree with Rotten on the United Nations part, and it does not necessarily have to be United Nations. I think we should get involved with the, you know, the global scene a bit more. Try to find allies, or you know, just find a way to get more involved. We don't even have to pledge ourselves to United Nations. It could be a G4, whatever. I forgot what it was called, but you know, the one group that begins with a G. But honestly, I think it is important that we get out there. We show everyone that America is ready to participate in the global stage. We are cutting ourselves short right now domestically, and I think it is important we get out there. No, we go outside, literally. Go outside and go do shit. That's what I want to do.
I have one more question from Benedicto Kaidoimus, and it is for Poke. Given your limited legal knowledge, what do you plan on doing with the Department of Justice if you win?
So with the Department of Justice, I plan on, you know, since I am not the most experienced guy legally, I'll admit Kabat has trumped me over legal knowledge. From that perspective, I would ensure that I would be reaching out to, you know, legal masterminds, people that are experienced in the field. Now, obviously, I think same with like Kabat or any other leader. It would be smart for them in areas that they fall short to go and reach out to people that fit those needs. There's a reason why we have a cabinet. The cabinet is there to help us, or the president, to help with tasks that they may not necessarily be experienced in or widely knowledgeable in. The cabinet is there to assist us, and I plan on filling every single cabinet position with the right people. And by the right people, I don't mean my fucking friends. I mean the right people. I'll fill it with people I hate personally. I just want to get the people there that can do the job right. And that's what I'm going to do.
Thank
That
you.
applies for every department in the military, especially the military, actually. I want to backtrack a little bit. Right now, the military, a lot of people in the military feel like they're getting cut short, and I want to make sure we have the right leaders in there so that if we ever do go to war, we'll be ready for it. I want to make sure we're properly prepared for everything, and that will be with every department. I kind of apologize for sidetracking here, but I felt like this was a great opportunity to share this. We always got to be ready for everything, and we always got to get the right people in power.
Also, just to interject, Jaggers, can you lock the server, please, so people stop joining and
Yeah.
hacking? Thank you. Why is Zach J. Shin here? Do we want blacklisted people here?
Oh, wait.
Jaggers, do you want blacklisted people here, or should I kick him? Probably
If they're blacklisted.
don't want him here. Okay.
Okay, so anyways.
Okay, continue on with your questions.
Whoa, sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next.
We should let JS in.
We have one more publicly submitted question for Rotten. It's submitted by Armin Foley. So we have a few more. When Armin was chairman, you betrayed the party, causing him to remove you from the CNC, which resulted in you supporting the GOP. How can we trust you with constitutionalist party values and support the party when you were a part of the GOP some time ago?
Okay, let's get one thing out of the way. The fact that they are saying I'm part of the GOP is complete bullshit. I was never part of the GOP ever in my entire NUSA career, okay? The fact of the matter is that I frankly hate a lot of the people in the GOP. I think they are corrupt people, and I do not approve of what they have done so far, especially Arnie Vinnick. He was horrible. Okay, and second, too, I never betrayed the party itself. I betrayed the senators within the party, the constitutional senators who decided to be corrupt and expel Senator Vigilwave for being inactive, and not expel Senator Wilfates for being inactive. Okay, that's the reason why I betrayed the constitutionalist senators, not the party. I somewhat believe in the party's beliefs, okay, but the constitutionalist party right now has gone to a much more radical sense, much like the radical left in real life politics, that has been led by Alex Kabat and Cylinder and all their people supporting them.
Okay.
And, may I add on something to what Rotten just said? That's actually the reason why I ran for chair, because I personally wanted to, take the party back, restore some of its old values, its true values, true constitutionalist party values. Right now, the party has turned into a haven for certain Machiavellian individuals or megalomaniac individuals. And right now, the CNC is I'm working with them, working with the CNC to try to get them to, undo that. I'm going to be working as chairman to push the Constitutionalist Party back to where it was, back to the good days of honesty, dedication, and truthfulness.
Okay. So, this next question is for Kabat. There's been some talk about you being a part of the Supreme Court and running for president, which many say is unethical. What is your response to this? This has already been brought up by Poke a lot, so what do you have to say? That question was also from Armin Foley.
Oh, the law says it's not unethical. The code of ethics says it's not unethical. But I'll tell you what is unethical: running for the chair of a political party, then seeking that party
I think we lost you there. Kabot? Kabot.
Then
trying
show
to
me
seek the
no,
nomination, and
fly
they're getting the
in.
CNC, try and rig it and pass these weird, absurd, unconstitutional regulations to try and take it. Thankfully, we have a president and a party overseer who's not going to stand for that corruption and who firmly denies and rejects that.
Can I respond to Kabat?
Yeah.
So, Kabat, so if you would like to say that me being chairman is unethical, one, you defended the fact that your position as justice was ethical by saying that you were not violating any code of ethics or laws. So if that's the case, then I'm in the clear using your own logic. Secondly, I was not the one supporting the legislation to quote unquote rig the elections. I specifically vetoed it. I specifically stood against it, and I specifically did not agree with it. You can twist it however you want, but I was not the one who did it. Secondly, I'm saying by ethical when referring to your actions as of being a justice and running for president. You specifically had your vice president change the laws. Now, I don't know if you helped him behind the scenes or not, but if regardless, it's your vice presidential candidate. So why have you not publicly, said anything about this? You had the law changed so you could run, and in my personal opinion, a Supreme Court justice should not be running for president. It's your job to focus on the judiciary. Now, if you don't want to focus on, the judicial side of NUSA, and if you want to focus on running for president, then by all means resign, because you're going from a completely different area, an area that should stay non-political, and then running for president. You completely disgrace the hard work of many other justices. You turn the Supreme Court, frankly, into a joke, just so you can have more power. The Machiavellianist principles that you're pushing really are not helping anyone. And just turning the Supreme Court into a joke. You're turning the group into a bigger joke than it is already.
Joke. Did you just say?
Yeah, a joke.
You're
What's the British? What's the British term? A good old knee slap.
You think that you're above everyone. You think that your piece of executive orders are going to promote validate you to become president of the United States? You think that you have any idea about the law? You said that I got the law changed. No, the Senate changed the law.
Yeah, and who passed it? Your vice president. And you have a history of having people. You have a history. You have a history of having people pass bills on your behalf.
If you don't like the law, go to the Congress.
Dude.
You're supposed to have control over these constitutionalist senators. But
I never said I had control over them. And I don't go around waving around the fact that I have control.
How the hell are you going to work with the Congress if you can't even control?
Wait.
Jakers, unlock it really quick.
Wait. Can I make a quick comment?
Did you get kicked?
So Kabat. Your logic of waving around control as some beneficial thing is a clear sign of, megalomanianism and Machiavellianism. You're specifically obsessed with control.
Machiavellianism.
Pick up a dictionary if you need to.
Shakespearean, evil, maniacal obsessions. No one cares, but I tell you what people do care about. They care about how you're a pretty creepy guy. I have to tell you that.
Creepy!
Mr. Nasty Bleed has some very concerning.
Dude, Nasty Blade. Okay, if you want to bring up my friend Nasty Blade, he literally just sends weird shit to people. How am I creepy if someone sends me something I did not ask for? If you want to go through my DMs with anyone, whenever someone says something that is not what you asked for, I specifically. Come on. Now you're getting into
stop
the area
talking
of
over each other, please.
This is literally a baseless accusation. A very baseless accusation. I'm just saying. If you want to go call me creepy or are you trying to call me a pedo? Like, what are you trying to call me?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And if you want to put words in my mouth and try and get me blacklisted because that's the only way you're going to win, go ahead. But it's not what I said. I said you're a creepy guy. And
how am I creepy?
I think I lost the audio.
No. Tell me. Let's not move on until you tell us. Tell the American
I'm
people.
ready to move on. The moderator.
Speak up. No, speak up, because you know why? You don't have anything to back it up,
No
Kabat.
more
I could
crying,
go
please.
easy and say you're a
No
creep
more
too.
crying.
And you know what? I'm not, because
Let
I'm
me
not
ban
a
people,
liar.
Jake.
I don't lie.
Yeah,
No.
you can.
Can we let Kabat speak up, because he just made a baseless claim and now he doesn't want to back it up.
Yeah, but
No
yes.
one's making a base.
You
I'm not
are.
supposed to
No.
weigh in, but
Okay. So how am I
back
correct?
it up.
Back up your claim. Yeah, back it up.
I'm not backing anything up because
Okay, then retract.
if you want to
It's
reveal
not
that
true.
information, you can reveal that information.
No, I don't know what you're even trying to get at here. I literally
You
don't.
obviously did because you just said, "Oh, are you trying to associate me to a pedo?" I never called you a pedo. I never would.
No, because you're saying what? Okay, you say
But you're
someone's a
becoming
creep, right?
very panicky. Very panicky.
No, okay,
Very panicky.
okay, no. Let me explain this. You're trying to. Anyone will get panicky if you baselessly, you have a large platform, right? And you make up a lie about someone. It's reasonable for someone to get defensive, because you know why? People in this community are, especially a lot of your supporters, are they have a mob mentality, which you specifically endorse. You could easily, any of us actually could go up here and make up some lie, and people will believe it.
ahead.
Now, I want you to back up your claim. Now, if you want to go around spewing bullcrap, back it up. I think Rotten would agree. Back it up.
Yeah, let's move on.
Rotten, would you
Back
like
it
Let's
up.
read some more questions from the people.
Okay, first off, Rotten, what do you have to say about these accusations?
Okay, yeah, Kabat's not backing up any of his claims. He refuses to answer any of the questions in this debate. He has barely answered anything in this debate. I think it is disgraceful what Kabat is doing. This is just representing how he is you're a toxic person. Why use the
Yeah, Kabat, you're
answer the
fucking
question? Why use the
douchebag.
toxic, Kabat?
Yeah, toxic. Yeah, you're really toxic. Kabat, you're literally now trying to make up bullshit because you know what? You're in a corner and you can't get out of it. Okay, if you want to bring up why I'm a creep. Okay, Kabat, tell me, why am I a creep? Tell me.
Oh my god.
Tell me, why am I a creep, Kabat? Let me know.
Stuck in the past. Come on.
Kabat, no, that was the past. That was fucking 5 minutes ago, dude.
No one wants to cry with you.
Okay, I think we should move on.
Yeah.
No. I want to hear Kabat. I want to hear Kabat back himself up.
I also want to hear Kabat back this up.
Get a
Okay,
therapist.
Yeah, Kabat, back it up or retract your claim. Back it up or
Okay,
retract.
moving on, I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay.
He won't back it up.
This is from Wakeful. What are your thoughts on the corruption in Congress? Starting with Cabot, because he's on left. Also, Jakers, do you want? Oh, wait, check your DMs.
Okay.
But Cabot, what are your thoughts on the corruption in Congress?
Oh, corruption in Congress. I think any corrupt congressional official should be prosecuted fully to the fullest extent of our federal laws, and I would help pass additional federal laws concerning corruption in our Congress, not only in the Congress but in the military and other civil services within the nation. That's what I would do in our Spring Cleaning Act of July 2021. That's what we'd do. I hope the others have some kind of legislative agenda.
Okay, what about the Senate being corrupt? How do you control the Senate? Would you prosecute your friends in the Senate being corrupt?
Okay, we're gonna move. Okay, you can do rebuttals after. Same question to Director Poke. What are your thoughts on the corruption in Congress, and what will you do to address it?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I personally think the corruption in Congress right now is disgusting. I personally believe that we should make efforts towards weeding out these people that are blatantly going around trying to help their friends out. And one way how I'm going to work towards that is I want to look into the possibility of getting rid of Senate appointments entirely and replacing them with more democratic methods, either through a Senate vote of nominating a person, just as the City Council did for vacancies, or through special elections.
Okay, is that all? Okay. Same question to Rotten. What are your thoughts on the corruption in Congress, and what are your plans to address it?
Okay, first off, let me start with my plans. Well, I'm going to be actively working in the Constitutionalist Party. I was just deemed appointed as their executive director in there. So I'm going to help get these people elected, not corrupt people, but moderate people elected, okay? Because right now, the Constitutionalist Party is going into a radical sense that is led by Alex. Come on, okay? And come on, I want to have you answer my question. What if your friends in the Senate are corrupt? What are you going to do about that? Are you gonna prosecute your friends in the Senate if they get corrupt?
Hey, Cabot, you can respond.
I think we'd appoint a special prosecutor. We'd appoint a special prosecutor to prosecute anyone who violated the laws of our United States. That's the duty of the President in the Constitution, to execute the laws of the United States. That's in the oath of office. Of course I'd do that. What a stupid question.
Okay, but you seem really intent in this debate to make it look like Congress is not corrupt and brag about your control over it. It seems odd that you would prosecute your friends. Are you not loyal to them?
Anything. So I think you're putting words in my
Dude,
mouth
yeah,
against
and
my
also,
head.
wait, also, why is it an accomplishment that you, someone in the judiciary, have control over Congress? The principle of checks and balances is very important. You should not be near Congress.
We have
Checks and balances ensures that there's a divided.
If you don't like the laws Congress passed,
No, Kabat. I'm not even talking about. It's not fair. It's not judicially and principally fair. No, it goes against the founding fathers' principles for Supreme Court justice to have control over the Senate. And also, if you had control, wait, Kabat, let me talk. Thank you. So, Kabat, if you allegedly have control over Congress, right? And this law that has allowed you to be political has been around for a week or two, give or take. Wait, let me finish. This law has been around for a week or two, give or take. It's not logical to assume that you're able to gather all that power and influence in that amount of time. It's implied based on what I've seen is that you've been behind the scenes working with Congress when the law is
behind the scenes, you're all so spooky. You sound very unhinged right now. It's not my fault Congress passes laws you don't like. If you don't like
I'm not talking about laws you don't like. I'm talking about ethics. I'm talking about checks and balances. I don't give a fuck about what. I'm not talking about what Congress doesn't like or whatever that crap is. I'm talking about your involvement. Checks and balances is a clear principle, and you're violating that by as a Supreme Court justice getting involved and having control over Congress. You should be staying in your lane. There's a reason why they're divided. If the founding fathers wanted them to be combined, they would have made them combined. It's unethical from a moral and from the perspective. No. I'm talking about history, not the Constitution. The founding fathers' intention was to have a divide between the Senate and the House and the judiciary. If they wanted them combined, they would have had them combined. There's a reason why there's difference.
Founding fathers did not intend for the Senate and the House to be separated.
No, I meant the Senate and the House compared to the judiciary.
Bakers, let me ban people.
Okay, yeah.
Like, give me. If this insurgent dude joins again, I'm gonna ban him.
I'm ready for the next question.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Would you like to go?
We're gonna end. The debate is going to end. Is gonna end shortly.
Well, I have one. Well, I have two questions actually.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
One for Poke and one for Rotten. Okay. Well, actually, I'll do one for Cabot as well, just to balance it out. Okay. Poke. This is from PL Potato. As you are currently the constitutionalist chairman, what plans do you have in the filtering/vote counting process for primary elections?
Okay. So, sorry, I was just talking to my father. So my plan, if I'm chairman, for this whole actually, mind repeating it? Sorry, I was talking to my dad real quick. I just want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. I did hear it, but I want to make sure I'm just
Okay.
repeat it real quick. Yeah, my apologies.
Can you ban insurgent, please, Jakers?
Okay. Yes, you can. Okay, I'll do that. Where is he?
Yeah, because it says I don't have permission. His username is Atomic Dynamics. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. Okay. So Poke, you can answer that question now. Sorry about that.
Okay. You can repeat it, right?
Yeah, I'll repeat it for you. Okay, so this is from Potatoes, in the FD and debate question submission. As you are currently the constitutionalist chairman, what plans do you have in the filtering/voting counting process for primary elections?
So I want to leave that up to the CNC, and I want to make sure that it's done in a fair manner. Preferably, I would like it to be primarily handled by Ralph Foley, because he, is the most unaffiliated guy right now, and I think it's honestly fair for him to manage that stuff. I would also like to add on, if I am elected or not, if I'm not elected as the constitutionalist candidate, for the sake of fairness, even if I do say in the election or not, I will appoint and I'll have Kabat's advice of this, or whoever wins. It could even be Rotten, who knows? I'll have their advice, and I'll appoint a committee out of Constitutionalist Party leadership to help handle the presidential area. I'm staying as Constitutionalist chairman regardless of the results because I personally feel that the party needs great reforms. Now, another thing I would like to add on is that when I become president, I will be resigning, or if I become president, I'm not going to be arrogant and assume things because it's up to people to decide. But if I do become president, I plan on resigning from my position as chairman to allow myself to focus on the work that I will have. But ultimately, I want to leave the process of filtering votes and all of that up to Ralph Foley or anyone he feels fit. We actually did try getting to FEC. We were looking into that, but unfortunately, they're not willing to do that, like filtering. So, but yeah. So for now, we're considering Ralph Foley for
Okay,
filtering, assuming he's.
Ron, what's
Okay,
your
and then I have one really quick for Cabot, and then one for Ron. For Cabot, if you become president, since you have experience in the Department of Justice, what are your plans for the Department of Justice and the judiciary once you leave that post as Supreme
I
Court
have
Justice?
a lot of heavy plans. So, we're going to appoint an America First Attorney General. We're going to downsize the Department of Justice and its prosecutorial offices greatly, immensely, because we need to build back our judiciary and our legal sector like it's never been done before. We're going to pass our Judicial Integrity and Expansion Act of 2021. That's what I pledge to do as president. We'll pass that. We'll put ethics back in charge. We'll enhance Title 28 of the US Code and enhance certain employment review cases and order cases appealed from the Ridgeway County Court to be heard by a 3-judge panel in the Federal District Court. We're going to do lots of great things for the judiciary and the Justice Department. We're going to establish a judicial committee to ensure our judicial appointments are at the top and their peak like they always have been.
Thank you. And Rotten.
This is our second to last question, and
Okay. Rotten. So, one thing that people can point out to is your kind of lack of experience in cabinet level positions and higher positions. So, if you win, what are your plans to ensure an efficient administration?
Okay. The first thing I'm going to do, as all presidents do, is appoint a transition team filled with experts from everybody in the community, even people I don't like. Okay, unlike Kabat, I'm bipartisanship, so Kabat's partisan. But yeah, I'm going to appoint a transition team filled with experts. Okay, of everyone who is in the community, talk about all the nominations, discuss all the nominations, get into a voice chat, even discuss nominations, find the best possible people and the right people for the job, okay? Because that is what we need, the right people. Even if they're political opponents, oh well, I don't really care. Because we need to get this community back together. We need to get this community active. And the right people in the right job are going to help get us back into an active community again.
Okay. And then I believe Jakers has one more question.
Before we begin our post debate show, I want to have one question. Why are you worth a voter's vote? What makes
so closing
why are you
statements
worthy
essentially
of someone's vote? What makes you worthy of them? What makes you stick out from the crowd?
I'll wait till the end.
So these are essentially your closing statements.
Okay, why am I with people's votes? Because I know what I'm doing, okay? I have listed multiple plans and policies on what I plan to do about the inactivity issue, which I believe is the first thing that whoever wins this election should handle, okay? Because if they don't handle the inactivity crisis, then the community's just gonna die. It's a simple fact, okay? I know what I'm doing. I have the experience to do it. I have the knowledge to do it, okay? Kabat has not answered the question about inactivity. So if they win, then the community's probably just going to die because they're not going to do much about it. They have no plan on it, okay? What I'm trying to get at is that I have a plan, and I know what I'm doing. That is why you should vote for me.
Okay, next, Poke.
I would like to wait until I'll let Kabat speak first. I have to prepare something real quick. Sorry.
Okay, then Cabot, you are up.
Right, thank you. As my closing statement, I just want to say that I hope that I can have your vote, and I'm not going to attack anyone in this last statement because that would be very pathetic. Very, very pathetic. But I just want to say that our campaign is dedicated to restoring American greatness. We're going to pass many great, great bills. And the American people know me. I know the American people. I'm not a new face. I'm not an untrustworthy face. I'm a face who's done lots and lots of good work. Unlike the other two, I've changed the Constitution to benefit the people. I passed a constitutional amendment along with my dozens of laws, dozens, to benefit the American people. So I just hope primary and hopefully after that in the general election. Thank you very much.
Thank
Alright.
you now.
Poke, you got it. We're
So-
running low on time, so make this quick.
Okay, I'll speed it up. So, okay, just before I start my statement, I would like to preface this by saying, Kabat, at the start of your little closing statement, you said that making fun of other candidates would be very pathetic, yet you insulted both of us by saying, unlike the other two, I'm not blah, 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 whatever you said. But I just want to leave that out there. So, for my closing statement, to the American people, I personally feel that I would be the best choice to be your president and Constitutionalist Party candidate nominee. Throughout the years, I've always fought behind you. I've always fought for your rights, and I've always prioritized your desires over the politicians' desires. Throughout my career as a politician, I have gotten beaten down by the establishment. I've been, thrown aside. And you know why that's happened? It's because I fought for you. If you were to elect me, we'll have a term where we can get together, fix shit, and not continue to uphold the establishment and not continue to uphold people's egos. We don't need, some fancy name running our country. We need real action. And I believe that I can bring that to you. Thank you. I hope you can all dedicate your hearts and push forward and fight for what's right. Thank you.
And so, before don't go away just yet. We're now our post-debate poll is officially live. Is now officially live. So
Okay, I'll spread that around. You guys should announce the poll in your campaign search, possibly. I'm gonna get this poll. Yeah.
okay. So our
That-
post-debate poll is live now, and we're going to see who is currently the American people support right now. Currently it is currently tied half and half between Director Poke and Alex J. Kabat. It's only 2 votes. Kabat taking the lead. Kabat taking the lead early on, but we are just gonna. So, the candidates did really good tonight. I would say, both candidates really were all going hard.
Good job to all the candidates.
Yeah, they were all going. Here's the thing: both Broughton and Poke were going hard on Mr. Kabat. They were all.
I think that's about it. I'll let you
Yeah.
end it.
I would say we have our
Oh
post debate
my
poll
God.
live, and we're gonna be talking about that for a bit. There are so much. Currently, Rotten 5 has it's currently 6-6. Director Poke and Alex J. Kabat are tied, and Rotten is 2, and so Kabat taking a small lead. So currently, Who do you think overall won this debate? Just so you know, purple is rotten, and green is poke, and red.
Are we gonna do this in a private voice chat, or are we gonna do this with the candidates?
We'll do this in a private voice chat.
Okay. DMs. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much, candidate. So, anyways, now we have the poll is currently live. We're gonna. Do it. Kabot still leading in the polls.
It is yeah, he has a double point lead over Director Poke at 14 votes. Which is very
If
impressive.
one of these here's the thing. For example, if Rotten or Director Poke dropped out and endorsed one another, they would probably be able to take on together. They would probably be able to take on Kabot, which I'm not sure will happen. But you see, look at how Kabot is currently storming ahead of them. What do you think? But even though he got basically annihilated during the debate, he got.
You know,
I
think Rotten was was a pretty strong performer in this debate due to the fact that Poke and Cabot were yelling at each other, and Poke had some pretty excessive loud miking throughout the debate. So I think Rotten did pretty good.
Yeah, he definitely did there. So it is. Alex J. Kabot has 19 votes right now.
Ooh, it's 19 versus 7 versus 4. So it's looking good for Cabot. I bet his campaign is feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, his campaign. Yeah, definitely. For what? I was. For who do you think? Who do you think personally? Who do you think won this debate?
In terms of like not arguing and like keeping being professional, I would have to say Rotten. But in terms of overall, I'm gonna have to go with the American people and say Cabot won the debate here tonight, because Poke's loud miking was kind of made his side less easy to see. It clouded his point of view.
Well, Kabot
with just his excessive loud miking, and I think the American people both agree.
Each other.
Yeah.
Kabot was doing strong, but then he made these accusations, and I personally think that him being a Supreme Court justice could potentially pose a problem for his campaign, in that how some saying it's unethical, which.
Yeah, I certainly agree that it was maybe not the best look for him to be making accusations like that.
Yeah, it is.
But that's up for the people to decide.
Well, you see here, the area is getting empty. The stage is emptying a bit, but it doesn't. I don't really. Well, we still.
Yeah, this is the end of it.
Yeah. We're gonna end our stream shortly. But who do you think really was the loser? Lost this debate. Who was struggling the most? I would say Kabot. Both sides, both Ryan and Kabot, were both went after him.
I think it's definitely a tough one, because Cabot and Poke both went after each other, and it's very unprofessional to see. It's not something you want to be It's not something you expect from a former mayor and a sitting Supreme Court justice, and I think that hurt both of them. In terms of pure policy, I'd have to say Cabot did the best in terms of just staying neutral and professional. I would have to say that Ryan did the best.
At that, with staying neutral and professional, but Kabot and Poke. Even though Kabot was a bit more quiet, he was still just firing shots as just firing the same amount of shots as Poke. Poke. He was going after him, and we're all going after each other. It was essentially, they were basically, arguing for the entire debate. It was.
I agree. Let's hope that the next debates, which I am told will be a town hall debate, will see less fighting between Poke and Cabot.
Definitely, these debates are. This debate was really intense, and I'm hoping that that the next presidential debate, which will be soon, and
yeah, and then
who do you think?
I've been told that Leo Vinnick and the constitutionalist nominee will be facing off in a debate hosted by, I have no idea, the FEC most likely.
Well, FTM's I'm gonna probably start getting to work on setting one up between Lucky Vinnick and the eventual winner.
Leo Vinnick.
Oh, Leo and Lucky. I get them mixed up all the time.
Yeah, and will you be covering the primaries?
Yes, I will.
That's very good. I urge all viewers to watch. On the 18th, I believe, as FTN returns to cover the constitutionalist primaries, which are going to be very interesting. We have 3 pretty strong candidates.
Currently, if we now look at the poll here, throughout the night, later tonight, we're going to, probably come back on the air, or we're gonna have the poll, we're gonna go over the poll tomorrow. But, Poke and Rotten, Cabot, it seems that the vote is sort of split between Rotten and Poke.
Yeah. You saw Cabot have a pretty strong lead at the beginning, but it seems Director Poke is catching up.
If Director Poke, if Rotten dropped out and endorsed Poke, I would say Cabot would probably become, the election would probably be a bit more
Much
closer
closer.
election. So here Rotten currently in last place, but look at this. The vote currently is split between Rotten and Poke, which is very bad because they both have been harsh on Cabot. So they both really dislike Cabot and do not want him to. So the best chance for them to defeat Cabot, I would say, is for Rotten to drop out, endorse Director Poke.
I agree. I think that's the only chance that Poke's gonna have at beating Cabot, because his campaign is very strong. It's very large. So if Poke and Rotten merge, I think that's honestly the only shot that Director Poke will have at winning, unless, as he's been saying, he will be really getting on campaigning and his members of his Discord server will shoot up.
So, if you see above me in the top left corner is the poll results. Blue is Rotten is purple. Poke is red, and Cabot is it. And Cabot. They began it.
Cabot is sitting with
Cabot.
Roughly,
it's half of the votes so far. Cabot 21 for Cabot, 17 for Poke, and 4 for Rotten 5. So it's pretty much, if Rotten dropped out and Poke would probably, and he endorsed Poke, that would probably be the only way for right now for Cabot to be defeated. So, next thing, what do you think the candidate should have done differently in the debate?
I think Rotten should have put himself out there more, and I think Cabot and Poke should have stopped arguing. Like, that really hurt both of them in the debates. It was just nonstop. It was a nonstop screaming match, and that just looked very unprofessional on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. If Rotten does not drop out, what other ways do you think Poke could win? If he was able to nab maybe some high profile endorsements, maybe then he would probably be able to.
And with the DQing of candidate Hop for Real, and he had a pretty strong chance at winning.
I think he's endorsing Kabat. I think he's based in the chat. I heard, does he support Kabat on Hop? Say in the, do you support who do you support in the election right now? Because Mr.
Well, judging from the fact that I've been banned from Director Poke's server, it's really between Rotten and Cabot for me. I like Cabot's policies a little better, but Rotten is a friend of mine. I'll admit that.
He's a friend.
So it is tough.
This is gonna be.
Yeah, Rotten's a cool guy.
It's
for
me. I'm currently. Sure, I'm gonna say this debate wasn't the best for Kabat. He was. All sides went after him. Both Rotten. Yeah, as I said this earlier. Yeah, all of them. And I'm going to quickly wait a minute. I'm gonna create a group DM real quick because I have another guest I want on. I'm inviting him on now. He said he said you should have him on sometime, so we're gonna have him on right now. Hello, John of Doom. You available to come on?
Hello?
Hello.
I just want to say, for the record, I have been unbanned from Poke server.
Okay, so John, what are your takeaways from this debate?
I watched a bit of it, and I think all the candidates kind of did well. If there was one person I'd look for tonight who was the star player, I believe it was Kabat. He was straight to the point and honest in regard to what he's going to do. He kind of took the attacks against him, and he kind of used it to his own advantage. That's honestly my opinion regarding the whole situation.
Yeah.
As an outsider who doesn't really care much about politics over here, I keep my views to myself. So
since you're the Republican vice chairman, how is Leo Vanek doing right now? How's Leo Vanek doing right now?
that's a question I have to ask myself. I have been monitoring the whole thing going on with him and Leo. It was again, similar to the Constitutionalist Party nomination thing. The Republican Party stuff was a 3-person thing, and Leo kind of won with most of the votes. If I can go back to the server, I'm not going to say who else was on there, but let me take a look back at the election announcements. Leo Vinnick got 18 votes. It was against 2 other people, including a current senator. But there was no real debate. That is something that we should have done. But so far, Leo's been doing decent. I have talked with his campaign manager, not involving the whole debate thing. We've been talking about other stuff, with, for example, the House and Senate stuff. But his campaign's kind of doing decent at this moment. I think he has like 109 people on his server.
Okay, regarding the House and the Senate, actually, the GOP took the House, and it was, for me, I was quite surprised. How did you pull it off? How'd you pull it off?
Strong campaigning is what I'd say here. We have an effective campaigning team. I don't really manage the campaign, or someone else who does it. We kind of, based on what I've seen, we've gotten how do I put this? We got an effective campaign manager team who kind of manages the whole campaigning. We've been able to get the people that we thought would do good, and we got the votes. We campaigned hard enough. We went into DC, and we did good.
If I'm allowed, could I invite on a guest?
Yes,
He's
yeah.
an attorney. Okay, I'm gonna invite on Benedicto Kaidoimus, a friend of mine and an attorney.
Oh, he's
He'd
right
like to say
behind
stuff
us.
about the debate.
He's right behind
Yes, he is.
He's right behind us.
I do hope he will act professional. Feel free to remove him if he doesn't, because
And also,
he's a
this
wild
was
card.
your first time ever doing anything
Hello,
for this
Ben?
network game lab, so I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
Would you like to have a job here?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I do enjoy moderating debates. I think I had a good amount of fun tonight. You'd like to say something about the debate?
Shut your ass up.
Hi, Ben.
Oh, come on.
This is Ben. He's a friend of mine. He's also extremely ugly
I
and
ain't
has a
friends
nose
with you
ring.
at all. I came here to talk about
Ben,
the debate. I do
Go
not
back to your
plan on
cherry popsicle
discussing.
and cry again.
I do not plan on discussing any friendly relationship I have with Game Lab. I consider him to be an enemy of the state. I would just
Okay.
like to talk about this debate.
Okay, Ben, who do you feel won?
Not
that
you, bitch.
Real talk. Who do you feel won that debate?
Who do?
Mr. Ben.
All right. Well, there's a lot of different aspects we got to look at, you know. From a standpoint of
Use your words, big boy.
if you could stop interrupting me and let me formulate my thoughts, please. Well, there's a lot of different aspects we gotta look at. You know? Let's look at some aspects. You know, I keep talking about these aspects. Let's look at some. First of all, you are a trash moderator, so we have to give credit to Jakers for carrying the debate and all of the candidates for having to deal with your questions.
I believe you submitted one of my questions, actually.
I actually submitted, as you can see in the Discord, for the Great FTN News. I submitted them for third-party anonymous sources.
Yeah, there was no third-party anonymous
There
sources.
were, actually, if you did your journalism correctly, you would know that. If you were
I'm not a
if you
journalist,
were
sir.
as good of a person as Jakers were, you would do your inside research and figure that out. One of the questions that was asked was, with Polk's limited background in the DOJ, what does he plan to do? I forgot to pay attention to the answer, but I have to assume that he had something good to say.
Thank you. So back to the question, who do you think won?
Who do I think won? Tough question. It's a tough question to answer, you know. There's a lot of people saying Cabot won. There's a lot of people saying the other people won. Poke and Rotten. You know, there's just a lot of people saying everybody won. If we're looking at the polls, let's look at the polls. What are the polls saying? 27 people are saying they want Cabot to win.
Kabbat is holding the lead, but if the only reason I think Kabbat is leading in the polls by a lot is because of this. Is that the vote is split between Poke and Rotten. The vote's split. That's, I think.
So you think if they came together, I believe you said that earlier, you think if they came together, they'd be able to
they could
take Cabot down.
If they really, because they both seem to really dislike Cabot. Kabat, and they want to, and I wouldn't be surprised if they really want to get him out of the race. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them dropped out to take down Kabat. I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of them, if Rotten didn't either, because I know Rotten. He's stubborn. He won't give up.
Let me ask.
He's not gonna give up. I don't think.
Let me ask you this question, though. Let me ask you this question. We're talking about someone who hasn't been brought up a lot, but could definitely be a contender when he does finally announce his running. I've been told by inside sources that he might be running. You've heard it here first. Joe. Do we see Joe as being a big contender in this race?
I don't think we do, honestly.
We don't?
And, no.
Jake, what's your take on this? Do we see Joe maybe being a big contender at all?
I don't know.
Let's go to who is actually running. There has been rumors that
there have been rumors. There have been rumors.
Let me explain. There have been rumors that Secretary of Defense
Joe is running.
Solar General is going to be running for president. What are your thoughts on that? And I believe his running mate is Hunter Heichler. What are your thoughts on that?
Mine or?
Yes. What are both your thoughts? Starting with Ben, I guess.
Starting with me.
Lucas Hefner, is the VP candidate.
What are my thoughts on if they're going to run, when they're going to run?
No, what are your thoughts on them running? Like, let's say that they are going to be running. What are your thoughts on
I don't know what you're asking.
What are your thoughts of a Solar General Lucas Hefner ticket?
I think most of the candidates here have already have basically established themselves. So now at this point, post debate, it would probably be hard for the newer candidates to get their name out there, and because it looks like at this point everyone's decided who they're supporting.
Yep. And I believe that Solar General is going to be running as an independent, and that could be bad news for Leo, as Solar General, as you know, being the Secretary of Defense, is very popular in the military, and I've heard from sources that Leo Vinnick is going to be relying on the United States military vote.
Well, if we're being honest, I think the worst news for Leo Vinnick is that his last name is Vinnick.
Yeah, that is also pretty rough. But Solar General and Leo Vinnick are going to be splitting the military vote.
I would like to get your thoughts on a possible Joe presidency.
No one's falling for that, man. I'm sorry.
The people want to know. They've been asking. I'm watching the live stream. There have been a lot of people asking about a Joe presidency.
Joe Mama.
I don't.
Jakers, what's your take on a possible Joe ticket? What do you think about Joe running?
Who would Joe's vice president be?
That's a bunch of
his vice president, I believe, would be Mama. A Joe and Mama ticket.
I don't see that as a threat to either of the campaigns, honestly, as it's not a real ticket. It's just like your supposed friends, they're a figment of your imagination.
If we'd like to backtrack a little bit, I believe that when I entered this call, GameLab did announce me as his friend, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and then you DM me about the possibility of being my vice president if I ran. You want to talk about that?
You took you long enough to get that out.
Okay, someone just said that in chat. He said this is what happens when this is what happens when the pandemic shuts down debate club at school.
No, I actually couldn't afford to go to school.
Yeah, Ben really is extremely poor. It's funny. We make fun of him for it all the time. Okay, as the poll sits, it is currently 29 votes, or 50...
I think we've spent enough time in this post-debate show, and I hope you enjoy it. Currently, Kvat is leading in the polls, and we're gonna give you we're gonna have a stream with the live results as they come in, starting soon, and I hope you'll join for that, and we're gonna see, and we're gonna end the poll at midnight. We're gonna end the poll No, we're not gonna
Yep.
end the poll at midnight.
Thank
we're gonna have
you.
the poll
Okay.
running for like until.
Well, I just want to thank Jakers at the FTN News for inviting me on here to moderate the debate tonight. It was an honor. So thank you, sir.
Well, I think. Well, would you like to stay here on the FTN News team?
Yes, I would, if that's a possibility.
Oh,
It would be entirely against your best interest to let him work for your
Ben,
credible.
maybe
amazing news
consider going to San Francisco, right? And you know what's in San Francisco?
I don't.
The Golden Gate,
don't.
the Golden Gate, the Golden
The
Gate
Golden
Bridge.
Gate Bridge. Okay. Okay.
I want you to
Is in San
I
Francisco?
want you to drive to the middle of it,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want you to bring a parachute,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to take off the parachute, and I want you to jump off the bridge.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. We're gonna stop there. We're gonna end the stream now. Kabat leading in our poll and the debate, crazy debate tonight, and I hope you all enjoyed.
That's a joke, by the way, for the CAA if they're watching.
I don't think it was.